What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Rene, with Hip Hop Humanism and Hip Hop Humanism Radio. I hope that you're doing well this morning. Okay, I get to do one of my favorite things to do, which is the Wonder Woman series, where we give our Wonder Women that are in our day and age now, that are doing their thing, we give them their flowers now. We sit with them, we talk to them about the things that they got going on. You know, we build in that atmosphere, and it's just always a great thing. We have to make sure that we are uplifting each other in the midst of all of these crazy things that's going on. We got to take time to acknowledge one of each other's achievements. It helps to keep us, motivated, and it's just something good to do for the heart. Keeps us in solidarity, something we definitely going to be talking about. So let's jump right into it. Good morning, Queen. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Rene. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I have a very big smile on my face. Like I said, this is one of my favorite things to do, the Wonder Woman series, where, we get to meet wonderful women like yourself. You are out here, doing your thing. You're standing tall for your son and for your efforts that you got going, And we definitely wanted to acknowledge you and have you here so we can learn more about you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for the invite.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Okay, I'm Queene Lewis. I'm in southern Indiana. I am a single mom of 3 sons and 1 daughter, but I do claim my son-in-law, so I got 4 sons. What do? I engage with the community. Just this particular... I generally move the way that I see the need in order to, be of service and, advocate for my family and the people in my community.
Yeah, community is very much important. When did you realize that the community was something that should be invested in and taken care of and being a part of in a real way?
Since I was a single mother.
Right. How was that, being a single mom in this day and age?
I'll explain that statement because I moved to southern Indiana, and I didn't know anybody. So, when them kids is about, before they hit middle school, you pretty much think you got it. They hit middle school. And it was then where I learned the importance of, I ain't gonna be able to do this by myself type deal. And so I've always been like one of those community moms, the help with the football moms. And on top of that, I worked so many hours. So I was put in the position to where I had to depend on the community in order, to make sure my children were safe and taken care of while I was punching, 2 and 3 clocks at a time also.
Right.
So it's really been in me all the time. I just didn't put a label on it or a bead on it. I just considered it a part of life. And it wasn't until they was grown, that it kind of stuck. It kind of put a face on it, But yeah, I've been the neighborhood mom just because I had 4 sons and 1 girl. So, right. And everybody had their own set of friends. So it wasn't nothing for, anywhere from 8 to 16. And that's not an exaggeration. Teenagers at my house at one time.
Right. Okay. I get the vibe. I think we all know that mom that's just everybody's mama. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's something very important to have, You know, they always say it takes a village, and it really does. You know what I mean? I think a lot of time we got away from that, but that's really dope that you was able to do that. You know, we often hear in the news about places like New York or Cali, Florida, how it is. How is Southern Indiana? Like, how was that whole, like, what's the vibe there?
That's kind of, it's a small community. It's not, everybody knows everybody, it seems like, or I would say everybody knows when somebody new come in town. Let's just say it like that. It's a real small, tight knit community is what they are down here. And it's greatly made up of what I've coined as the locals and the strays, because a lot of people, you know, it's a throwaway too. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
I don't know how to answer that question, sis.
Okay. Okay, I can dig it. So let me ask you, so what are some of the efforts that you put back into your community? Like, what's some of the things that you got going on?
Some of the things that I got going on is we got the F.O.C.U.S Family Initiative Network, Solidarity Network, that we are actively building. And F.O.C.U.S Families is a organization that provides material and emotional and solidarity support to families and their incarcerated loved ones. That's my biggest baby right now, because from that particular umbrella is where all the projects are coming from. We provide platforms where families get to share their stories, expose the horrors that their family members and their loved ones are experiencing at the hands of the Indiana Department of Corrections. It also provides support. We talk to each other. We conference call each other. We don't put a time limit. We make ourselves available, just because of the flood of emotions that comes along with that, and depending on the strength of your relationship, can come at any given time. So it's nothing for me to receive a phone call at 11:30 at night from somebody who just needs to talk,
Right.
because they can't handle their emotions. We also getting off into some education pieces, developing a political education program under the umbrella of IDOC Watch.
Okay.
Extensive political programming education program that kind of gives us the background of the history of the land, why things are the way they are, trying to come up with a shared analysis. I'm sorry, excuse me. We understand that there's some issues, but a lot of us don't know how to articulate those issues. Like, that was me a couple of years ago. Like, I knew stuff wasn't right, but it seems like once you start putting it into words, and you can't really, you just, because you don't have the education or the jargon to articulate that thing. And that's been very, very helpful. And it makes me, make us more aware of our surroundings. People like Miss Sheila, lovely woman,
lady. Yes, ma'am.
Lovely woman. With the spirit, with the gifts of help, and so humble. Blessing to run across people like that. We've engaged, and our relationship has blossomed into so many different projects and ways that we can get people involved. We've decided that we are getting ready to do a research project and put together a resource toolkit for the families. And what that toolkit is going to involve is what you need to know, what you might need to know, what you wish you had known from the time your loved one is put in those cuffs until they come home. Let's go. We just started that particular journey. Just decided on what the division of labor should and would look like. So it's really new and ground. But with her experience and the experience that I'm continuously going through, we don't want people to feel powerless or hopeless or feel like there's absolutely nothing that they can do to advocate for their loved ones. And hopefully we get to it before it's, advocate in a manner that, before it's too late.
Yeah.
What else we got going on? We're starting an inside out reading program with the parents and the children, trying to figure out how to work all that out. And then we have a list of active campaigns so that people can actively not only identify how the Indiana Department of Correction not only exploits the ones that's locked up, but also their family members, through agitation of attacks on visits, attacks on communication between the one that's incarcerated and their family members. I don't know what else financial exploitation. Everybody knows about that.
Yes.
But I don't think they quite realize how deep that thing goes. So we're looking into that. Just to share awareness and education and let people know that,
these things are going on, and what you can do about them.
These things are definitely going on, and it's not just a myth, and it's not a fairy tale, and it's real tangible, and it's real. The financial exploitation is the part that gets me, because see, with 3 of them locked up, baby, they tapping my pockets.
Yeah, it's outrageous. It's outrageous how they do. They definitely financially exploit them and us on the outside, and they have so many different systems to do it, from the food to the communication, everything that you said. The work that you're doing and those that are doing it with you is definitely amazing and needed. We out here are the ones that got to be the ones that spearhead these things, because the ones that have these systems in place definitely aren't checking their hands. They're too busy stealing and being corrupt. Indiana definitely is no stranger to corruption when it comes to the prison system. Talking about Michelle, I love her to death. Very sweet woman, as you said. The things that happened with her son, we're going to get into that a little bit more about why it's important for us to support each other. Solidarity is the tone. Remember, you said that. And it definitely is. Being able to have that support is important, because if not, it's just going to keep continuing. So not only fighting for what's going on with y'all, but trying to help the next person is the definition of what Wonder Women do. So you definitely appreciate it for that. Tell people how we can connect more to, keep up with what you got going on and to support. Like, what's the platforms?
The platforms we're on Facebook, Focus Family Initiative. We also have tabs on the Indy Liberation Center.org under Focus Initiative, because Focus is our fiscal sponsor. While Focus is initiative services, our loved ones that come home, we provide wraparound services for their family members also. And we also have a tab on IDOC Watches. Excuse me, on IDOC Watch, www.idocwatch.org. Have a tab over there. All our financial donations, we could definitely use those for books, for research, for aid to the families, for aid to the loved ones who are declared indigent on the inside, so that they can communicate with their families. We're on Cash App under Focus Ltd. And we also have a PayPal under Focus.
Okay.
Email is focusfamilies@pm.me. reach out. We are actively looking for people that can help us organize and get these pieces together, so we can get them out to the family and to the communities as quickly and as efficiently as possible. We got some fun things planned. We have a comrade that, a family member that has a passion for writing. So one of the things that we do is we do different activities, try to keep it light while we're educating, and we're doing that through different workshops. One workshop coming up is an upholstery workshop dealing with mental health. It was an amazing idea. And then we have another workshop where they're actually going to write a skit, put it together, and perform it for the community.
Okay.
So we're not just doing heavy, the serious. Well, all of it is serious, but we definitely want to add,
yeah, I get it.
Lighten the atmosphere and make it comfortable for people of all ages, because we just want to create a space where we can bring our children and our grandchildren, and we can start teaching them early. That was the one thing I neglected. I didn't know to do. I thought I was doing it, but it was so much stuff that I missed.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, girl. It's a lot. And you're doing a lot, but it's a lot. It's definitely work to be done if people trying to get out here to do some work. For sure. It's definitely a lot. So I know you brought up the Indy Liberation Center. I know that there was an event that y'all had there. It looked like it was a wonderful turnout. I got to see some of the pictures. Can you give a little insight on what that event was?
Well, that event was the start of a series called From Grief to Action. Mothers Against IDOC Cruelty is one segment. The next segment, what we want to do is we want to hit all angles of the dynamics of the family relationship. So, because we don't want to undermine either one, no relationship. We plan to do one with siblings, cousins, spouses, children, and parents. And what that event did was it allowed the families to share their experiences. A lot of time through sharing, you get to realize somebody in the audience might be going through the same thing, because those experiences are so strong, overwhelming, and traumatic. You just automatically slip into a space of isolation, and feel like nobody knows what you're going through, or it don't make no sense to talk about it because it is what it is. And that is a myth that really needs to be busted. The feelings, the emotional and psychological roller coaster that one goes on is common. And I didn't realize that until I started sharing my story. And the event was a wonderful turnout. It was as packed as it was. It still had like this cozy family feel. And we discussed about how Miss Sheila lost her son, and with her sharing her story, we get to pick up certain signals, like her son told her, "Look, Mama, they might be me," and guards did it. So to have somebody, tell you to look out for those, so where you don't think they're not important, because most people, they realize prison is dangerous, but they don't realize how dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
With Miss Rosalind sharing her story, also, so we got to hear the cues, how they all do, regardless if they're in different environments, they all got the same cues, and so that we get to act immediately, advocating for our loved ones, instead of like, okay, I hear you, baby, just pray about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I get it.
And I will say that through the active campaign of awareness allowed me to not take a call, a distress so lightly. You get what I'm saying? And move immediately on behalf of my son, regardless of what you think their history is. Their lives are still important. You know what I'm saying? And you definitely don't want that fatal phone call, that tragic phone call. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. We talked about our experiences. We also shared how we could change our experiences. We talked about how we can deal with our experiences, and we also stressed that because Miss Rosalind been advocating on behalf of her son for years, and not to take anything from it, you know what I'm saying? But advocating with the power of the people behind you is where it's going to make a difference.
Yeah. That's where it starts, is people wanting to know what's going on, caring enough to want to know what's going on. Because usually, you know, the consensus has been when somebody go to prison, oh, they shouldn't have went there, or it's always some cast off. You know what I mean? So I love to hear that.
And every I keep talking about the importance of solidarity and unity. That particular event, you know, I was not physically present during the planning stage. Like, we did all of that over the phone.
Right.
So having the hands from the PSL and the Indy Liberation Center, plus the F.O.C.U.S initiative, people up there actually, you know, doing the footwork as we put this together, and me in the background, you know, arranging the travel arrangements and prepping the families, letting them know, because one thing we don't realize is, like, one time I was asked to share my story, and I thought I was fine. I'd been through all this therapy. I've been, you know, just hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
But this was the first time I had an opportunity to share it out loud in front of a physical audience.
I got you.
I'm gonna tell you that the event went well. But it took me a whole week and a half to bounce back from the emotions that I stirred up by sharing that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I said I had to, you know, prep the family, because we don't know that stuff is coming.
Yeah, it can hit you like a ton of bricks.
I don't know. It took me a whole week and a half to bounce back.
I want to give you an opportunity to let everybody know the fight that you have going on. I know you fight for others and you're there for others, but you have your own fight with Indiana. Can you go into it a little bit about what's going on with your son?
Well, yeah. I got a call Monday afternoon, actually. Today, Friday. Might have been Tuesday afternoon. I got a call, and my son told me that a guard basically had put a target on his back. And I was like, what do you mean? He stood in the day room. He harassed a couple of inmates, tore up his room, tore up the inmates' room. And the inmates was like, what are you doing? And the guard basically stood in the middle of the day room and said, if y'all don't want me to stop tearing this motherfucker up, then y'all deal with 212, which is my son's cell.
Wow.
Cell.
Yeah.
In broad daylight, in the middle. And, you know, in situations like that, you don't know who's taking it or who's willing to jump on an opportunity like that. And so I immediately called my comrades. You know what I'm saying? I immediately called my comrades. I put one on the phone with them. And that was about 1:00 in the afternoon when that call connected. And by 3:00 in the afternoon, there was a network when I say across the country, sis, I mean across the country, calling with a script to let people know that we know this has happened. We got eyes on you, and if anything happened, we are holding you liable and accountable. And that thing just came in like a flood. I woke up the next morning. So yeah, it was Tuesday. I woke up Wednesday morning, 7:00 in the morning, hitting the phone.
Right.
Because as I was calling, all I was getting was voicemails. Baby, I had one phone call, 35 minutes. They looped me through voicemail for 32 minutes before I finally got a chance to talk to somebody. And the only reason I got a chance to talk to somebody because she gonna say, didn't I just transfer you to the voicemail? I said, look, I don't mean no disrespect, but I've been talking to voicemail since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I'm not getting off this phone.
Right. You ain't able to
you
get rid
find
of
me
me.
Find me a warm body and a warm body that can talk to me, so that I can be ensured that the safety of my son is you guys are the priority.
Right.
You know. Wow. And when they put me through, he was on the phone with me. We were talking, and now I told you we got a script, right?
Right.
And so as I'm talking, he must have been looking at his computer screen with the exact same script, and he was like, well, I'm looking at your email that was sent on 2/52 yesterday. He asked me, he said, is your last name Coleman? I said, no, that ain't my last name.
Right.
So right there, he knew immediately, like, oh.
Yeah, this morning, yes, you calling, right. That matters.
What's going on? Mm-hmm. And literally, the next phone call from my son was, Mama, I don't know who you dealing with or what organization or who your comrades is, but you make sure that you let them know that I said thank you. Like that thing got handled immediately.
Yeah.
It was so many phone calls that came through that Top Dogs personally came down to the cell to pull him to the side to see what the heck was going on.
Yeah. It's
you know what I'm saying?
We got to go through all of that to be done right, but it shows that it matters, that solidarity and numbers and people coming together make things happen.
And you know what? That particular son always feels like he's by himself. So for him to make the statement, and Mama, you know what? It also showed the inmates in here that people do care about what's going on behind this. Those were his words.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's one thing to be in this work, and it's absolutely fulfilling to me. I can't imagine. Since I feel so free right now, you know what I'm saying? I made a decision a couple of years ago that if I was going to have to spend my money and my energy doing anything, it was not going to be to punch somebody else's clock. It was going to be to feed into my family and my community, because I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
And it has proven. It's been tight sometimes, but, it's always been fulfilling. It's always been fulfilling. To just be there for the next human person the way that you would want somebody to be there for you.
Right. Yep. It takes a certain type of heart and mind to be in this work. It's in you. Like you said, it's always been in you. And I don't doubt that at all, because it is. It be in us even as kids. If you really think back to things that happened in your childhood, it was always there. It was just cultivating and building up to what it needed to be for present time,
Yes, ma'am.
It takes, like I said,
it prepares you for a time such as this, because, like I said, it's one thing to do that work, but when it just hit so different, it solidified my commitment when I was the one who had to send out the Mayday call. Mm-hmm. That was the best sleep. 48 hours, I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So, that's your baby. Because the ones that aren't your babies that have you up. So when it's your baby, I can only imagine.
Baby, when he called and I could hear the relief in his voice.
Yeah.
I could hear the shocking from the turnout, because all he could do was like, wow.
Right.
I don't know. You ain't even got to tell me. Just tell them thank you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I'm glad that they was able to see that, man, because I know, like you said, they definitely be feeling like they're alone back there. So to know that somebody still care, that could have motivated somebody to fight on another day. You know what I mean? And wake up another day and go forward. All of that stuff really matters, and it goes back to the middle of just the human experience. A lot of time, people that are incarcerated, they want to treat them less than human, but they still human beings,
Exactly. And so I appreciate, I've learned so much in these last 2 years. Mm-hmm. And it didn't take away from any foundation that I already had. It may have rewritten, you know, as you learn better, you do better.
Yeah. Yeah, they said that now.
Yeah, as you learn better, you do better. And it's just so much history that is purposely not taught to us.
Yes.
That is purposely not taught to us, which is one of the reasons the political education and the literature curriculum is so important. So I really would like to hit on that, because the Inside Out reading program with the parents and the kids is just a passion that we've recently picked up out of the interest being expressed from the people on the inside. So we scrambling around to, figure out how to get the books to the parents as well as to the children. And I think we're coming up with it. And be a lot of postage and a lot of books, but definitely one that we're willing to undergo and see if we can manifest and make happen.
Okay, and to donate to that effort, it's the PayPal and Cash App that you gave us. Can you give it to us one more time?
The Cash App is Focus Ltd. And the PayPal is through Focus Initiatives. Okay. And when you send it, just put Focus Families on it so it can be earmarked correctly. Like I said, they're our fiscal sponsor. But some pretty exciting things. And all of the ball just been rolling. It's getting bigger, and we moving around.
Right, you're making it do what it do, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely appreciate you. I've always heard awesome things about you before we even got to speak. So when we did get to talk, I felt like I kind of knew you a little bit already, just from the amazing things that I've heard about you and the things that I've seen that you do. You're definitely appreciated. If no one has told you lately, you are doing amazing. We are thanking you. We are appreciative of you. You are doing the work, you know what I mean? You always in that car, you in the move, you on the move, you're not
getting in my car today.
You're not just talking about it, you're doing it, and that's what Wonder Women are all about, and we appreciate you very much, and we just wanted you to know that and give you an opportunity to let us know what you got going on so we can support you in your efforts. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you again for the invite. Thank you so much.
Do you have anything you want to leave the people with? Any gems or any information you think they need to know?
One thing that I would, and I probably said it 32 times already, but there is great significance in the solidarity of the people. Education, political education. Our political education will also be available on Zoom once we get that class started rolling. That information will be put on our Facebook page as well as platforms through the tabs that we mentioned through the Liberation Center and on Focus Initiatives website. And I guess the biggest thing that I can leave right here is, no matter what society goes through, to let you know that people don't care. People care about people. It's our basic human nature. We are conditioned to walk in our own lane and not, interfere with somebody else's injustices. That's not the human way. Solidarity. The people are smart enough to work together and deal with their own problems. And I'm walking in that. I'm realizing that as I move every day. We can do this. We have a voice. We have a voice.